lately you have been looking at buying companies for your own company. You're looking at acquiring and doing your own version of this. Would an area like AI and automation be a good candidate for somebody to look at for buying a company? Should we invest in the technology now? Or these businesses, should we invest in these businesses now that are doing this?
That is good company, or a good question.
Hmm.
I don't know. I've never thought about that. I would say probably not yet.
What's that?
Because it's still too early. Yes, these technologies have been around for a while, but there's a saying in the investment realm, might be the business realm, just general business, is that have you heard of the term the first mover advantage? Like the first company into a niche. Side, yes. Yeah, the first company into a niche generally gets the huge things. There's an opposite to that. It says the first mover or the first pioneer gets the arrows in the back.
Oh, really? Wow. On the financial side, they say that. Huh.
Yes. So the reason that is because a lot of these companies invest a ton of money to prove the concept. And by the time they've done enough to prove the concept, they're so far in debt, they're so unprofitable that they go out of business. Or they don't adapt enough to take advantage of it. MySpace is a perfect example. MySpace dominated the social networking scene when it first came on, but it didn't adapt fast. And it was probably one of the first major ones, but it didn't adapt fast enough. And then Facebook came in and just skyrocketed.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's a perfect example of that. So I would say it's probably too early, even though I'm personally fascinated by all this stuff. I would say it's too early for most of those kind of things.
It makes me wonder. It's no wonder then that a lot of the smaller investor firms or smaller investor people like yourself tend to be on the more conservative side when it comes to risk and investing, because it's just, I get all excited about it. So I'm like, I want to dive into this right now. And people like you are like, do you want to lose the money?
Yeah. No, especially on the investment side. So I for my personal investments and the portfolios I manage, even though I see this technology coming,
right,
and the trends coming because I'm in this space every day because A, I'm fascinated by it, and B, I've worked for investment sites and newsletters where we talk about this stuff, so I have to research it. Even though I see this stuff coming, I personally don't invest in it.
Huh, okay. Okay, interesting.
Even though I'm passionate about it, even though I love it, like the space stuff, love the space stuff, love the technology, love what it's going to do for humanity, all that stuff. I don't invest in it.
Interesting.
Why? Because it's so risky. So risky. I want to invest in boring stuff that's going to be around for decades. What do I mean by that? I used to own stock in a fruitcake company.
Oh, how funny.
Talk about boring businesses.
Very boring and horrible food. It's like
I've never had fruitcake. I've actually never had fruitcake.
Okay, first of all, I feel like you missed a rite of passage on that one. And secondly, don't know that. You're not missing anything. All right. Sorry, you were talking about fruitcake, and I pulled up your notes here because I knew I had some questions that I wanted to follow up with as well.
Oh, no, you're good. So I personally don't invest in a lot of this. Actually, I don't remember I don't think I've ever, since I've started investing seriously, I don't think I've invested in one of these high growth kind of stocks because they're so risky. And then I always get people saying, then I miss out on Amazon and Uber and Facebook. And yes, I 100% do. And I'm comfortable with that because I also miss out on the other nine that blow up and you never hear of.
But fruitcake, that's what floats your boat. Okay, we learn something new about Jason every time we talk.
That's just one example.
Just one example. One exciting example. No wonder you wooed your wife on in.